the circle of life that I talked about, women carry that nature because we call Shakti as Prakriti, which is nature. Women intrinsically carry this in their body through their wombs. And every month, through their menstruation cycle, they live this cycle. And two phases of our menstruation cycle are masculine, and two phases of our menstruation cycle are feminine. Now, there are n number of cases, I can go on and on, where women have moved away from their feminine principle and become more masculine. And this has caused immense amount of imbalance within their own womb. And all the womb related illnesses that we see today are because of this disconnection from our inherent nature. So coming back to the philosophy, when mankind disconnects from who or he or she truly is, from their soul self, from their unique essence, from their true nature, which has happened because of disconnection from Mother Nature. This gives rise to a lot of illness, a lot of imbalance in their health, wealth, and other aspects of their life. We move away from the journey of our soul because we are living the egoic desires, the desires coming from the egoic mind. We never question, what is it that I really want? What is my true nature? What is it that my soul wants? What gifts am I here to share and contribute to the world? So the teachings take us back to the journey of the heart, back to the journey of the soul, back to the journey of the body. Through these cycles, there are teachings and processes which bring us back to wholeness and health. And of course, there are healing processes also involved which help us to heal this imbalance which has come about in our lives. If that answers your question.
Yes, it gives me a good idea. And I would like to put this out to the audience as well. If you have any questions so far, please feel free to post them. We will bring them up because let me also let everybody know that Neelam had set an intention yesterday that I'm going to ask, that she's going to ask her guides and her angels and her power animals. Oh, and by the way, power animals is coming up very soon. And to see that, you're going to guide me about what needs to be said on the call today. And I was like, but then if I come in with something, am I going against them? That's not fair on me. That's too much pressure on me. So Neelam said, you will also put the intention that if I come in with a question that is contradictory to anything, it is also coming from you only. It is also coming from the power animals and these. So if at any point of time it suddenly feels like Neelam and Neelu, oh hello Neelam and Neelu. Neelam and Neelu are having their own separate conversation. We are paying attention to what you want to know and want to ask as well. With that said, Neelam, you just mentioned that the women example, that women have become more masculine and are moving away from their inherent femininity. Would I be correct in understanding that in the roles that women are taking on today, and I don't mean this in any other way, but as just a question as a factual question, you are managing the house, you're working, you are being both mother and father most of the time. Women tend to look after their elders and their youngers more than men tend to. Please know this is not meant to be taken in any other way, but as a question that is being asked. So please forgive me for that as well, especially all the men on the call today. Please know it's why
you will also be taken care of. I'll talk about men too. So yeah, go on.
Yes. So is that what you're referring to when you say that women have become like more Is that what you were referring to when you said that?
No, not really. Okay. So coming back to men have also moved away from the feminine principle. So the intrinsic, one of the fundamental principles of shamanic way of being is balance. The balance of the feminine and the masculine way of being. The entire collective consciousness, including man and women, have become more masculine. What is masculine? Like the day, going out, taking action, logic,
right.
Expansion and all of that. In that, the outward growth. In that, the internal growth, the descent has suffered. So in ascension, we forget the descent. Look at the tree. The tree has the roots going down equally into the soil. It will go into darkness, it will receive nourishment from the soil, it will receive from sunlight, it will receive from moon, air, rain, before it grows up tall to give to the humanity and is outward action. So what have we done is we've forgotten to pause, we've forgotten to retreat, we've forgotten to enjoy the fruits of our expansion. And we've created this huge imbalance in the process of more and more, to that extent that we've gone into wars. So we've forgotten that softer, gentler, nurturing part of the feminine, the collaboration that I spoke about in the opening of the sacred circle, the intrinsic nature of, being caring and action oriented is masculine. The feminine oriented would be retreating and rest. So yes, women in the course of more action and more doing have become also like that. Their bodies have become like that, very logical and tough and tight. So obviously we hold stuff and then we attract a lot of illness, and that's what has happened to men as well, because we have not been taught any better that, oh, it is not good for men to cry or express emotions. Emotions being a feminine part of the being and emotions being cyclical. So we all hold that within our bodies and then we don't let them move because we don't express. And that's why they get stored, and that's how they illness. So women can take any role. Men can take any role. As long as logic and intuition both are at play. Rest and action are both are at play. Night and day both are at play. Expansion and inversion both are at play. So the essence is important. Of course, women have forgotten to rest because there is shaming on people to rest. Not just women, men also.
True.
We learn from childhood. Don't sit idle, don't fantasize, don't daydream, don't rest. But we have to understand, this is what I was talking about, cycles of nature. 2 seasons, full action, spring and summer. 2 seasons, slow down. So if women understand their bodies, the PMS and the menstruation phase is a phase where they have to slow down. But if we work 16 hours a day, even in the PMS and the menstruation phase, then obviously bodies take a hit. Then we are not accepting our own intrinsic essence as a woman, and then we are contrary to our true nature, which brings illness. So likewise for every human being, for man and woman both.
Right. And okay, so questions have come in, Neelam. Just taking a quick moment for that, because all right, who Radha actually wrote saying simple life earlier when we were talking about. So she said, so true, dal chawal never tasted heavenly in all my life, but in the pandemic. And what she's asked is, how do we start now that we have gone off key for so long? Where do we start? And she's also thank you for your beautiful wisdom. And Sarita has said, hello, Neelam. Thank you for sharing a wonderful philosophy of way of life through shamanism. Can you share how or what are those rituals or practices that will help one to connect to their inner consciousness? Sarita, you have pretty much taken the words out of my mouth as well. So Neelam, do you have an answer for Radha?
I need the first question again. If you don't mind.
Radha has said, how do we start now that we have gone off key for so long? Where do we start? And Sarita has also asked, can you share what are those rituals or practices that will help one to connect to the inner consciousness? So both of them are asking more or less the same question.
I'll answer one by one.
Yes.
So the first,
Radha.
For women, I'm not biased, but it is simple because we can start aligning to our menstruation cycle. And this is just a small tip, more obviously follows. But since you asked, our pre-ovulation and our ovulation phases in the 28-day cycle are full on action and outward activity. And then PMS and menstruation are slow down. So 2 phases are masculine, 2 phases are feminine. So we can begin there, we can become aware, okay, I'm now hit my period. Can I slow down? Can I say no to socializing? Can I say no to mundane? Can I spend half an hour for myself even if I have to go to work? And then when spring comes, I will have full on action. But if I have not done justice to winter, which is my menses, then my spring, my pre-ovulation will not give me the full benefit. So begin there by understanding about your menstruation cycle. So that is one tip for women.